make great decisions once they switch, knowing who they're guarding.
Curry fires away and hits the three. Behind the back and a crossover against Durant.
Great closeout by Steven Adams in transition.
Curry the drive, foul from behind. As he was passing it out to the corner, got hit by Westbrook. That's going to be Westbrook's first. 40-30. First meeting between the two. Golden State scored 73 as Curry nails the three-pointer. That's his second. Curry from the corner, another.
And that's the mistake right there.
Can't finish at the other end. Curry, long distance, puts it in. Stephen Curry with another three-pointer, his fourth. 18 points here in the first half. He's 7 of 11 from the field. Curry finds Bogut, cutting to the basket. Third assist for Curry. Move from Russell Westbrook. Curry, and nobody in front of him. Curry with the left hand.
And if I'm Steven Adams, I'm upset. I'm doing my job at Canton in this pick and roll. You got to come up. You got to come up and be there for Westbrook and buy him time. And if you're Westbrook, you got to fight over the screen or through the screen.
X factor for this team. He's been very erratic, especially shooting. Curry for three. Stephen Curry from downtown. A hit to Curry. Waiters in pursuit. And a foul call on Waiters.
Up it on the defensive end.
Well, we don't know about.
This is a tied together team. There's no question about that. Explosion or no.
Singler now on Curry. Crossover, step back, three-pointer, bang! First lead of the night for Golden State. Westbrook's tip doesn't go. Curry to the basket. Layup is good.
Durant to work off of that.
Curry from downtown. It's good. Curry from way downtown. It's a 4-point game. Both teams still with multiple timeouts. Neither has a foul to give. Curry from downtown. Puts it in. Steph. Curry out to Thompson. Three-pointer. Bang! 1-point game. Curry picked up by Durant. Curry to the basket. Layup high off the glass. He got knocked down and fouled out of the game in 3 years. Curry 1 for 2. Then picks it up. But Green's made some huge defensive plays. Curry for 3. Nails it. 10 three-pointers. Back-to-back games with 10 threes. And he ties his NBA record. Curry, another three. Oh, it's good. The Curry eruption continues. Singler right up on Curry. Drives, layup, swatted away. But he got hit in the head and a whistle and a foul.
So certainly the correct call.
Chance to cut it to 1. Won't go. Rebound taken by Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining. The brilliant shooting. Drives, layup, swatted away. Won't go. Rebound taken by Iguodala. They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! With 0.6 of a second remaining.
Hi, what's up guys, my name is Nicholas, and today in this video tutorial I show you how to balance the Flycam CF5 with a camera on it. The video tutorial would work for any other camera flying stabilizers too, like the other Flycam models or the glide cams even so. So now we'll have a look on the Flycam CF5, but first you can I would recommend the Pro Aim Shop or the Science City to buy this camera stabilizer because it's very cheap, and it costs about $300 with a brace arming kit, and the brace arm helps you to create longer shots even more easier, because Flycam is not so heavy for your arm, because yes, brace arm helps you to hold the Flycam more easy. But now about the balancing of this Flycam. I have here a dummy old camera, but it has the same form factor like a Canon EOS 70E or a 5D Mark II or a Nikon D7000 like me, or a Nikon D800. And first, it's not so important, but so we put it not exact. We put it mostly exact in the middle of the bezel plate, but it's not so important. That's in the optimal middle of the bezel plate, and then we have here some blue screws on the sides and some on the ground down below. And most important are the screws down below, because these screws are not so important when we have this quick release plate here on top. So we can use a quick release plate to move forward and backward. And so the screws are not of any use anymore for us with this plate. But if you don't have this plate or have other plate, you need to use these screws. And so we open up the screws down and have to balance it, because we have this grip here on the side, and so the camera is on this side more heavy than on this. So we have to balance it. If you have a camcorder with the LCD, maybe you have to go on the other side. And so we have to move this here right now that it's in the middle, or not exactly in the middle. So then we have to look if it's stable, if it's balanced. So we will have to move a little bit forward on this right now here on top, and then we will have to repeat this so long till the camera is here still is there very stable, but it's not optimal right now. So we will repeat this sometimes, and then then we have to move this bezel plate a little bit. It will take some minutes, I think. It's first time it's a little bit complicated, but after some tries it would be easy. And if you put there some time in stabilizing your camera, the shots would be even better. And then we close the screws down below here. It's not optimal, but I don't want to make the video even longer. It must be. So if you want to balance the Flycam release plate or the bezel, then we can make a second test. So the bottom of the Flycam must be in right order. So sorry, this was too heavy. In the same direction as this plate here down on top, with the camera on it, and then yes, put it in the same direction, so it's even better. On some people say camera here down on the button are stable. If I on one, this here on 5 or 3 centimeters, let it go down, and it has to take 2 seconds, 1, 2, and then it's stable. And if it's too fast, then makes the middle part of your Flycam even shorter here down below, and then make it again, and it's not so fast, it's moving even so slower. then 1, 2. So it's slower, and I will make it a little bit longer. 1, 2. So, and if it's even so too slow, you can put more whites in it, and then it would work great. So now my last tip, or one of the last tips, is to make the lens cap and the strap for your camera on off the camera, cause way. So now about the brace arm, the brace arm consists only of 2 parts, this little part here for your arm and this metal part here. And then we will put on this, this polyester part here, I think it's polyester, here on this side, and then we will put our arm here right now. And then we have to put this, you can just test while you also make a video, a review video about
Canon 17-40 lens on it. I will explain why I decided to use this particular lens later. I also have an arm brace here, which will help me hold this thing much longer. I will also come back to that a bit later. Everyone has their own way of balancing their stabilizer, and I have my own. Some of you guys might not agree with the steps I take to get my balance right. But today I'm filming with my 5D, and I have a 550D right here. This camera is slightly lighter than Canon 5D Mark II, so to get a balance right, I will have to readjust it slightly. So one of the first steps that I take to balance out my stabilizer is to make sure that the weight on the top and the bottom is roughly the same. The bottom should be slightly heavier, but if we start with roughly the same weight, we're on a good track. So to check the weight balance, you would swing your stabilizer like so, and you would let it drop. Well, this stabilizer doesn't drop. What this means is that the weight on this side and this side is pretty much equal. And although it probably looks quite cool, this is not the way to get your balance right. The bottom part of your stabilizer should drop within 2 to 3 seconds, like so, when you do this test. So to get this drop, I need to extend the bottom pole. So for the purpose of test and understanding how this works, I've extended the pole fully, and let's see how long it takes for the bottom part of the stabilizer to drop now. 1, 2. It took roughly 1 second for it to drop to this position, and this is way too much. It should be between 2 and 3 seconds. I personally prefer around 3 seconds. So we need to do more adjustment to get this balance right. So next thing I will do is get this halfway down and see how long it's gonna take to drop down. 1, 2. Now we're getting about 2 seconds, and we're definitely on a right track. But for me, it's still not good enough. I would like to have a bit more than that. So I'm gonna turn the pole even more. So let's see how long it's gonna take for it to drop now. 1, 2, 3. Maybe it takes too long now, so I need to extend it out again. So I've extended the pole by roughly 1 inch, and let's see what we're gonna get now. 1, 2, 3. So now it takes about 2-3 seconds to drop down, and this is where you want to be with a top to bottom weight balance. Next thing I would do is get the balance on the top of the plate, basically get the camera on the top balanced well, so when I hold it like that, it doesn't fall to the front, to the back, or to the sides. It's pretty decently balanced now, but just to show you what would happen if it was out of position, let me move the camera to the front, which is done quite easily with this particular sensor. Okay, so I'll move the plate to the front. So what happens here, the whole setup is slightly front heavy, and if I let it go, let's see what happens. This is where we're at. This is what we're gonna have as we walk around. Okay, so while our top to and see if it drops to the back or to the front. Some of you might have your tripod adapters on the top there that will let you use your tripod plate, and maybe you would move that back to forth. But basically you want to get that balance right, so when you hold it up like that, the camera doesn't drop forward or back. And because my actual camera body is mounted slightly to the back of the plate, I'm able to get the balance right. And if I had the camera body mounted straight to the middle of this plate, the whole setup would be way too front heavy because the lens itself weighs a lot and it would just drop like that. So when you shoot with a DSLR, you want to keep the camera body somewhere at the back of your plate, whatever stabilizer you are using. And the last thing that you want to adjust on the top here is, got a pretty decent balance right here. Let's check this out. So when it comes to operating, one of the first things that you should know is that you should hold the handle. Myself, I used to hold it. I always thought, why it's so difficult. When I started using it like so, it actually became much easier and I felt much more in control with the rig. Learn to do it this way. You will learn much quicker to operate properly. So the second thing you should do when you operate is use your second hand. You don't want to use just one hand and let the camera go everywhere and anywhere. You will not be able to control what you
offer from Germany. In India, at Pro Aim Shop or the Science City, it comes via DHL Express to you, so it's very fast. So now about the box. If you open the box, there's a bag inside. In the bag, there's a camera and your tripod mount, and brace arm takes the weights to your tripod mount of your camera and also screw it. Now about stabilizing. Stabilizing can be very difficult for beginners. The video is takes shots are not so good, and you have to have some experience in taking shots, and you will get better. So now about my experience. I'm very lucky with the Flycam. It takes very great shots, it's affordable, and it has a great package. So there is no great difference to concurrent models, but in this model of the Flycam, there is a chaining plate included, and a lot of Flycam is for
Hi everyone, Luca from Luca Gisbert. The fit, so using this with 2 weights on each, but you can fit 4 on each side. So, and that's for the 800 with a Tokina 16-28, which is quite a heavy setup. So once you've got this, you just fit it in like that. If you know you really find the exact set of shot, because you want something wide and you want an hyperfocal, so you get everything in focus, you will not be able to, so your zoom while this camera and lens is on a steady cam. It won't work out. So what you want to do first is up slowly, still too much, and you kind of do this until you get the right balance. Obviously the plate has been balanced already for the for the front. Okay, now we are getting there slowly. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, so I'm just going to tie this now. Okay, now one way to test it out, make sure that the camera is well fit when you do, before you do that, is you just take on the side and just let it go. It's just maybe a little quick, so I'm just going to increase the... Now, one way to get this shorter is by increasing the weight. But now you need to bear in mind that when you're carrying this with your hand and without having any support, like a brace for the arm or like a belt, this is going to really work on your shoulder and on your wrist, and it's really, really heavy. When the first time I took it and I started to play with it, it's just maybe a little quick, so I'm just going to increase the... Now, one way to get this shorter is by increasing the weight. But now you need to bear in mind that when you're carrying this with your hand and without having any support, like a brace for the arm or like a belt, this is going to really work on your shoulder and on your wrist, and it's really, really heavy. When the first time I took it and I started to play with it, it really kind of gave me... It wasn't easy, you know. You really have to get used to it, and that's pretty much it. But I've got my weight. I'm going to balance them a little. So I put them at the extreme here. Okay, and that should work out. Yeah, so that's pretty much ready to go. So I can really kind of... And this will give me some nice and steady shot. Now, one thing you need to bear in mind is that using a Flycam or Steadicam or any kind of form of Steadicam, it's really going to be down to the user, the quality of the footage you're going to get, and not too much down to the fit. When I got this one is because I'm only starting into it, so I didn't want to spend too much. And this from their website costs about $180. You're looking for $30. Shipping very light, but you're looking to spend 3 or 4 times the price I've paid for this. So if you're only starting in using very heavy and it just work on your shoulder here, but I think that it's a very good value for money, and I think the price point is great for people who are starting into the video market, who are trying to get a few little gadgets to kind of bring different effects to the video work. So I will kind of practice and try to get a film footage out of it, and may do a review in 6 months' time to kind of show you the progress I've done and maybe tips.
Lens on it. I will explain why I decided to use this particular lens.
There are a lot of amazing Steadicam videos in the internet. This will be extremely helpful. Tip number 1. The warp stabilizer. It might sound like cheating, but why not using it? The warp stabilizer or similar tools in other softwares easily delete small mistakes to make your Steadicam shots much smoother. Tip number 2. Using a super wide angle lens. 17mm on crop look good. 10mm look amazing. You not only have a much larger field of view, but also the footage looks much smoother. And another important advantage of my Sigma 10-22, even when I change the vocal length, the weight does not shift, so I don't have to adjust the balance. Tip number 3. Action shots. Fact is, if you film something with action, it doesn't matter at all whether there are small trucks or not. But if there's nothing really happening in the picture, it will be extremely hard to create satisfying videos. Tip number 4. Training. I often go out, walking through the area, and just film whatever comes in front of my lens. Sometimes I film the same thing 20 times. And the final tip, make sure that your Steadicam is perfectly balanced. There's nothing worse than fighting against your Steadicam. You have to be in perfect harmony, so make sure to spend enough time with balancing it perfectly. If you look for a cheap but good Steadicam, then watch this video about my Steadicam. And make sure to subscribe to my channel and follow me on Facebook to get to know more about video DSLR.
What's up, guys? How you doing? John Pole. We have gimbal, and we have else is exactly, I mean exactly the same. There's absolutely nothing different. Let me first, before we start balancing, I want to talk about some of the settings. So to place the cam. So I want to be balancing a 5 forward or backward because the center of gravity. Let's see how it balances. Even more.
Okay na? Stretch lang pala eh. Stretch lang. Stretch lang. Ay, hindi, servicing it. Servicing it. Talaga dito. Dito na, kami na kami. Okay na. I believe this. Sa